In the shadows of the colossal ship, the Resurgence, clung the stealth vessel. Within it, the Veritan infiltrators, armed with the galaxy's most sophisticated surveillance technology, watched the unfolding interactions with laser-like intensity. The holographic display of the ship's interior flickered with life, showing Captain Solane engaged in conversation with Captain Varos and his crew. They observed the cordiality, the professionalism, and the apparent camaraderie, but most importantly, they perceived the mutual respect. An uncomfortable truth was surfacing: the humans had changed. They weren't the havoc creakers of 1,000 years ago, but a seemingly organized, civilized race capable of diplomacy. It was a reality that conflicted with the Veritan narrative of a monstrous humanity, and it planted the seeds of doubt in one of the infiltrators, Kren. As the Resurgence hurtled out of FTL, the infiltrators' gaze shifted to the sight that greeted them. A glittering jewel of technology and civilization shone against the backdrop of the dark void. New Terra. It was mesmerizing and terrifying at the same time. Away from the bustling corridors and busy control decks, Ambassador Solane retreated into the sanctuary of his quarters. The room was modestly adorned, bearing only a few personal effects. Ahead of the man beneath the diplomat, his gaze fell upon a nondescript drawer at his desk, its contents known only to him. Hands shaking slightly, Solane reached for the drawer, pulling out an old, worn device. A relic from a time best left forgotten, a witness to humanity's darkest hour. Delicately unwrapping the tiny device from the folds of an ancient, time-worn cloth. As the Resurgence hummed around him, he felt the weight of his solitude. His quarters were a haven away from the frantic pace of the bridge, a place where he could steep himself in the memories of his ancestors, where he could touch history. As the device activated, a flurry of holographic screens sprang up, each displaying a date and a log entry. The entries spanned over 6 long months of fear, hope, desperation, and, ultimately, survival. They were the chronicles of a starship captain from a time when humanity was fleeing for its very existence from the Galactic Council. His ancestor, Captain Jason Roller. He pressed play. The captain's voice filled the room, and the words pierced through the veil of centuries, resonating with a chilling clarity. Solane listened, his heart pounding, as the logs unveiled the turbulent saga of humanity's fight for survival.
Captain's log, stardate 7385.2. Proclamation Day. The Galactic Council has sentenced us to eradication. The Veritans have been sent to enforce it. We received the distress call from Terra. It's time to run, time to hide. The cryosleep chambers are filled to the brim. Families torn apart, lives uprooted, an entire species on the brink. The mood is somber, desperate. We push the engines to their limit, our course random, our destination unknown.
His throat choked up as he listened to the fear-laced account of the first days. The terror, the uncertainty, the desperate hope, it was all too real, a chilling reminder of the atrocities they faced.
Captain's log, stardate 7391.9. We've had our first encounter with a Veritan patrol. Their ships blotted out the stars, their weapons lighting up the darkness. Our defense is held, for now. The enemy's face is etched in our nightmares. We've barely made it out of the Sol system and the Veritans are already breathing down our necks. Captain's log, stardate 7402.3. We are no longer alone. More human vessels have joined our flight. Together we're a ragtag fleet, refugees bound by our species and our desperate struggle for survival. We've had to fight, more times than I care to count. Each victory is Pyrrhic, each defeat devastating. Yet, amidst the chaos, there is a glimmer of hope, of unity. We stand together, we fight together, and in this shared struggle, we find our strength.
As the entries progressed, they documented the relentless pursuit of the Veritans, their ruthless attempts at extermination. Space battles painted the cosmos with fire, but humanity fought on, fleeing, surviving. The entries spoke of narrow escapes, of allies lost, of newfound friends in distant star systems, and of secrets whispered by nebulas and star clusters. The entries painted a vivid picture of their relentless struggle against time and destiny as the humans raced against the clock, seeking refuge in the farthest corners of the galaxy. Each stardate marked a moment in history, a testament to humanity's tenacity. The last entry, made 6 months after the first, documented their arrival at a habitable world far removed from their previous existence. A world where humanity could start anew, unseen, unheard, and out of the reach of the Galactic Council. The captain's voice, strained but triumphant, echoed in Solane's mind. We have found home. The log ended, the voice faded, leaving behind a poignant silence. The narrative woven by Captain Roller was a chilling reminder of humanity's past, a stark testament to their will to survive, and a beacon for their future. Solane reverently put the device away, each entry leaving an imprint on his soul. His gaze turned to a small, simple picture frame resting on the desk. It was an old photograph, faded and worn with age, showing a man in a worn uniform standing beside a starship, a look of defiance etched in his features. The nameplate on his chest read Captain Jason Roller. Roller was his forefather, the valiant captain of the starship from the logs, and Solane's direct ancestor. His heart swelled with a mixture of pride and sorrow as he traced his fingers over the photograph. This was his lineage, his legacy. This fight for reintegration was not just political, it was deeply personal. Yet beneath this honor and legacy, there stirred a darker ambition within Solane. Humanity would not merely return as a meek and subservient member. They would return as equals, perhaps even more. They would rise from the ashes of their past, their strength and resolve shining brighter than ever. As he looked out at the vast expanse of stars, his mind filled with dreams of a future where humanity would finally reclaim its rightful place among the stars, no longer as fugitives or refugees, but as the respected and powerful entity they had grown to become. And perhaps, just perhaps, they might even come to dominate the Council, the galaxy, and their destiny. The starship Resurgence hummed gently in the quiet depths of space, her hull bathed in the soft azure glow of New Terra's sun. A light beat echoed in Solane's quarters, pulling him from his contemplation. A message flashed on his screen, delegation ready for departure in Shuttle Bay 3. He took a moment to collect himself before leaving the solitude of his quarters. The stories of his ancestor, the echoes of a past stained by war and the painful memories it evoked, were now locked away once more. He had to focus on the present, on the delicate task of convincing the Galactic Council of humanity's transformation. As Solane entered the shuttle bay, the grandeur of human engineering loomed before him. Sleek, silver shuttles lay cradled in their docks, humming with anticipation. A stark contrast to the ones he'd seen in Captain Atherton's logs, these represented a beacon of hope, progress, and determination. Captain Varros and his fellow delegates stood by the chosen vessel, a state-of-the-art shuttle named Phoenix. Its design was a testament to humanity's survival and resilience. Solane felt a sense of pride swell within him as he approached the delegates. He greeted the delegates with a courteous nod. Their faces were a mix of apprehension and curiosity. "Welcome to Phoenix," he began, guiding them into the shuttle. Its interior was well lit, the seats were comfortable and utilitarian, and a viewport stretched across one side of the shuttle, offering an unhindered view of the cosmos beyond. As the shuttle detached from the Resurgence and began its descent, the view took everyone's breath away. Aboard their advanced stealth ship, Kryn and Yah had remained silent observers. Hidden in plain sight, they witnessed the shuttle's departure toward the planet, a sight that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. As the shuttle grew smaller and finally disappeared into the atmosphere of New Terra, Kryn broke the silence. "This isn't what we were told," he said, his voice hoarse with unease. Yah, his focus fixed on their console, nodded. The Council underestimated them. Their progress, it's far beyond what we could have imagined. A silence fell between them again as they considered the magnitude of their mission. But they had orders, and neither dared to voice their growing doubts. "We have to proceed," Kryn finally said, more to convince himself than Yah. "It's time." New Terra, their haven for 1,000 years, came into sight. The planet was a stunning sight, swirling clouds over verdant landmasses interspersed with glimmering bodies of water. The orbital stations, spacecraft, and satellites they passed on their journey down were proof of human advancement. The delegates, especially Varros, were visibly taken aback. Their eyes flitted between the planet growing steadily larger in the viewport and the advanced console displays that filled the cockpit. The aura in the shuttle shifted, no longer an air of apprehension, but one of awestruck wonder. Solane could only imagine what they must be thinking as they took in the marvels of human progress. They began to converse amongst themselves in hushed tones, occasionally throwing glances Solane's way. He welcomed their curiosity, answering questions about the technology and infrastructure they were witnessing. The realization seemed to dawn on all present in the shuttle. The humans were no longer the primitive, resource-guzzling species they had been a millennium ago. They were not just survivors, they were innovators and peacemakers. And they were powerful. Powerful enough to challenge the balance of the Galactic Council if they so wished. This unspoken revelation hung in the air, adding a gravity to the remainder of the journey. Solane allowed the delegates a moment to process this new reality as they drew closer to the surface of New Terra. This was just the beginning, he mused. Wait till they see what we've done on the ground. The descent into New Terra's atmosphere was smooth, thanks to the advanced stabilizers of the Phoenix. As they pierced through the clouds, the panorama of New Terra unfolded before them. It was a harmony of technology and nature. Vast green expanses ran adjacent to sprawling metropolises. High-speed rail systems weaved their way like silver serpents across the landscape. Hovering vehicles darted between towering structures, all under the watchful eye of colossal drones maintaining order. "I present to you, New Terra, the heart of human civilization," Solane announced. His voice echoed through the shuttle, his words hanging in the air as the delegates soaked in the spectacle. Varos, leaning forward in his seat, surveyed the land. His eyes, wide with curiosity, darted over the myriad of activities on the planet's surface, an alien world shaped by human hands. He turned to Solane, his voice betraying his astonishment. "This is not what I expected." "You've advanced further than we could have imagined." Solane nodded. "A lot can happen in 1,000 years, Captain." They continued their journey towards the capital city of Arcadia, a beacon of human achievement. Its silhouette, dominated by towering structures, shimmered in the horizon, a testament to humanity's ingenuity. They navigated through the city's air traffic, which was flawlessly organized by advanced AI systems. As they approached the heart of the city, the Phoenix descended towards a landing platform atop a magnificent skyscraper. The delegates were escorted through a grand lobby, its walls adorned with holographic displays recounting 1,000 years of human history and triumphs. Walking through Arcadia, the delegates were further confronted with humanity's progress. Monolithic structures of steel and glass reached for the skies, while lush gardens and parks wove their way through the urban sprawl, a reminder of humanity's newfound respect for nature. The city buzzed with energy and innovation, from the autonomous transport systems to the swarm of drones fulfilling various tasks. Humanity's rebirth was apparent in every aspect of Arcadian life. The city was filled with humans and AI living harmoniously, their interactions smooth and natural. In every district, engineers, scientists, artists, and civilians moved with purpose, their expressions reflecting contentment and determination. Holographic screens displayed news, entertainment, and scholarly debates, demonstrating a society that valued knowledge, creativity, and progress. The visit was an immersive crash course in human culture. Delegates watched as children learned in advanced learning centers, holographic teachers providing individualized education. They witnessed debates in assembly halls where citizens discussed societal issues, decisions reached through consensus and aided by AI analytics. They marveled at hospitals where medical AI and human doctors worked side by side, healing and innovating. Aboard their advanced stealth ship, Command, we have arrived at the human homeworld. Their progress, it's far beyond our estimates. They have a formidable fleet, advanced infrastructure. We might be underprepared. The icy voice that responded did nothing to quell his growing unease.
Maintain the mission, proceed with caution, and plan your next steps. We count on you.
As the link severed, Kren and his companion, turned their attention back to the resurgence. Slowly and carefully, they maneuvered their stealth craft, moving closer to the massive hulk of the resurgence. They found an out-of-the-way recess on the underbelly of the ship, a location that wouldn't draw any attention. It was there they decided to place the explosive device. The Veritan device was a masterpiece of engineering, compact, powerful, and almost impossible to detect once installed. With precision, they attached the bomb to the resurgence's hull, their hearts heavy with the gravity of their actions. They were not assassins, but soldiers following orders. Still, the thought of what would happen if their device was detonated was chilling. As they retreated, the small bomb sat ominously against the metallic gray hull of the resurgence, a silent and deadly reminder of the tenuous peace. Their mission complete, Kren and you retreated, the stealth craft once again blending into the dark expanse of space. As they put distance between themselves and the resurgence, the weight of their actions settled on them. They had effectively planted a sword of Damocles over the humans' heads, a single detonation away from disaster. Back on the Veritan flagship, their leader received the confirmation message. The mission was complete. The contingency was in place. A simple push of a button, and humanity's dreams would be reduced to cosmic dust.